Hi guys, it's me, Just Finishing again. And for this video that I will be dedicating to September 11th in 2025, I shall be doing something a little bit differently this time. Because we all lost something that was very important to us in 9/11 in 2001. And that being, many people lost their family members, other people lost the security of being safe and sound and all that. And other people just lost the iconic New York skyline at that point. And you know what? That's the movie that just does with that whole fixes the hole that's been left in my heart. Because I miss seeing the Twin Towers there. Of course, I do miss all the people that their lives were lost in the terrible accident on the terrible day by the Al Qaeda terrorists and all that. So let me just give a moment of silence before I talk about this movie. And so, this movie is a little bit different than what you could do for this type of thing rather than focus on the actual disaster. This is a more lighthearted film, and more, even though it's technically considered a drama movie, I guess it's an inspirational movie, because it's really quite awesome. And very dignified, if you will. Because of this is about an event that happened before my time in 1974, and it dealt with this guy, Philippe Petit, which, if you know anything about French, that means Philippe Small. I don't know what he's saying is small, but he's a very large and light character for what he did. And he walked a tightrope an iron tightrope from North Tower, from the South Tower to the North Tower and vice versa. I forgot which one he did first, but he did multiple, laps from one to another. So, don't kill me on that word kill. And the name of the movie is The Walk. The Walk. Not that I would have anything to know about that. But, yeah. This movie is very special to me because, number one, it was iconic. Number two, because the guy did it. And I like his reasoning for it, being that nobody else done it before. And I don't think anyone ever since did it, because I think that legislation and whatnot was made so that people can't do tightrope walk between two buildings on towers. The only thing that I could think that rivals this little escapade was when I don't know, some daredevil guy scaled up the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, and that was exciting too. I can't wait to see someone that I can make a movie about that. I don't think there is one. I think the closest thing we got is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Tom Cruise does the same thing, but a minor thing compared to what that is. Anyway, this movie is very good because this movie was made with Joseph Gordon-Levitt with a very flawless French accent, I believe. And the best part of it was that he was actually trained by the real Philippe Petit to play his role in tightrope walking, which is actually really, really special in terms of Philippe and himself. And may I just say that real Philippe Petit looks somewhat like Skeletor from the Masters of the Universe movie. Hey, if the nostalgia critic can do it for McCain, I can do it for this guy too. So, yeah. No offense to anyone that is a fan of his, but it's just so funny. Anyway, we get, we see it like in Paris. Yeah, Paris. And I really like the way they do the soundtrack in this movie because in the first part, when you're learning about American music for the first time, he's actually listening to music, but like with the same beat and the same rhythm and the same instrumentation as the American version, but with French lyrics. And the case in point is these boots are making for walking. Not that I would know anything about that type of stuff, but that's like a foreign experiment I didn't know about. So anyway, I got a question about that too. Does inserting foreign words into a musical piece with lyrics in it, does that work out good for everything? I mean, sure, it works good for this because it sounds very similar, but if you take like Russian language, you do something like that to it, would it work as good? And like for Korean, Japanese, Vietnamese, etc., German, or would it be a little bit more complicated, a little bit more butchered? So you can go for like a spell check, because every time I, for one, use a spell check in like a different language, whenever I'm typing the word mademoiselle or like ici or something in the French language, it goes all nuts on me. With the red bars and the green bars and that kind of thing. So I do wonder if it would react that way if you had a French person on a French phone. If that'd be something similar, or if their version of spell check would be all good, all perfect good. And then if they went to English, they would go all nutty, like mine did for French. So anyway, but then when Philip goes from France to the US of A, everything becomes Englishized. That's in a word. Whatever. So anyway, I like the idea that French is French lyrics to American music, but here it's good old-fashioned American English music. So there's something to that too. So then there's also a thing where he meets a woman there. Her name is Annie Alex, and she played by Philip Blom, and she's plays his partner in crime, but not really his love interest. It's a nice touch to movies like this, because you always assume that a guy and a girl are gonna get together. Yeah, so there, that's it. But it's a nice choice done to have them get together at the end. Although they do care about each other in the movie at least. I know about real life. And they got Ben Kingsley in this movie as Papa Rudy. Papa Rudy is like a circus mentor, tightrope guy that teaches them all the tricks and all the performance goodies. But before they get into that, where he's still like an amateur, he goes to perform in front of her while she's performing it with guitar, and she doesn't like him at first. Then she called him a mime for trying to steal her work, for trying to steal her paychecks from people going around, and he's pinning in her spot. So she doesn't like that. So then she calls him a mime. I mean, what the hell is the problem with the mime hate? Especially in Paris, the birthplace of mime age. The black and white clown type people that are quiet. I mean, I personally like mimes. Except Mr. Mime. He's just plain creepy. But still, that's kind of weird. So, they get together after he insults them and that kind of thing. But he takes it. And they meet Papa Rudy, which is a very tough guy to please and stuff. But he eventually learned all the tricks and things from this guy. He plays like a minor role, like a mentor character, like Master Roshi. And he teaches him how to tightrope over. First, it's four ropes, then there's 2 ropes, and then there's 1 rope to narrow down. And the balancing act is a lot more believable than, say, in Dragon Ball Evolution, because that movie is golf. And as I come from a Dragon Ball fan, as you can see back there. So anyway, they do this. And it's funny because in the movie, she wants to become a tightrope walker too, but she's afraid of it. So they do like he's like training under like 2 or 3 feet above ground with the rope tied off and up the trees, and she's over there on his back. I'm pretty sure that doesn't work out that way, but whatever. Although, it's funny, how tightrope walkers always have the pole out like this? Yeah, well, when I was working with my therapist many years ago, she would tell me to keep my arms like this. I don't know why it's so different. I think I asked her once why I don't have the T-pose, and she probably said something like it was awkward to move around like that, and wanting to be balanced more in the core of your body and that kind of thing. Plus, it was real awkward for me to pass by people with my arms outstretched like that. So anyway, yeah. I do that for myself, and they did do that for themselves, because I guess they got more control of their own bodies and stuff. So anyway, they do that, and it's good. And they do like a training montage type of deal. and then he goes over to USA to see what he can do. And he goes over to Twin Towers up there. Like, that's my calling. You gotta walk across that. So, you do like the major portion of this movie is basically they set up to be like a heist, almost like a heist movie, like where they like study architecture, study pictures of it, take snapshots of it all. They like do different disguises for him and his crew of Annie, Jean-Pierre, which have a funny little thing with him where they talk French to each other, not knowing that he knows French too, and blah blah blah. And they recruit many people over there, including many French people over there. Clement Sibony, James Badgedale, and the Cesar Not Dumb Boy, and Ben Swinton too, and Benedict Samuel. So anyway, they take all these type of pictures and stuff, which I find very weird, because even though they got the disguise on, Philippe got the disguise on all the time, he never the same guy twice. I noticed that he's got, that people will notice if somebody's over there taking pictures of this part of the building, and this part of the building look the same, got the same height, same build, same everything else, but different clothing. People will notice that, and they will call cops on you or the authorities or something. So when he was doing like a disguise run on he did a disguise once where he did like an architect with a tube that was supposed to be like his architecture type schematics, and he was walking around and he got a nail in his foot, which I never got a nail in my foot, but ow. Anyway, then he decided to do the old-fashioned fitting a wheelchair and crutches, try to get into the express elevator in like the North Tower or something or other. And first of all, I gotta say, kind of offensive, because I always see people in wheelchairs cut the headlines like rides and stuff just to get ahead of everybody else. But then when the ride comes around, they're like all free and stuff to go on the ride without any type of issue. And people will see that and they will say something about it. Or they should say something about it. First of all, another thing is that this whole architecture thing, like it catch all the skies. Like he disguised himself as an architect, and he goes over there and he got complimented to everything. He gets past the guards, gets past everybody without a second thought, because everyone always assumed that because he dressed like an architect, he's legitimate. Also, another thing too is that all during this whole thing, he's doing like a flashback. So he's basically narrating the whole story. I wonder if he survives this little walk. That kind of gives it away, because if the guy told the story, I'm pretty sure that he survived without any issue whatsoever. Also, I wonder what they would call it if they have a flashback within a flashback. mixed up flashback or flashback squared. So then when he gets into the elevator, no questions asked. Everybody helps him out and everything. Even though this guy could be doing like sabotage or a bomb or something like that. They don't leave snapshots and pictures and things. So, unlike when in the last half hour of the movie, it's set up where they do the night before the big show, as it were. They do like he gets high on some drugs and stuff. So he actually try to catch the arrow that one of the other guys shoots on the top of the other tower, the opposite one that he's on. I think the North Tower. Yeah. So anyway, they use an arrow for this because apparently driving a remote control plane is so complex, so out of this world, created complex and all that would take years to learn how to fly a remote control plane, and they can't waste the time because they want to do it first. They're worried that somebody else will come up and tightrope it before they do. I mean, first of all, as horrible as the plane controls were in Grand Theft San Andreas, I didn't find any problem with the remote control plane controls in San Andreas or Vice City. I don't know what the problem is. I mean, it's not rocket science here. You know, remote control plane is just a remote control plane. I'm sure even back in the 70s, that would have been a piece of cake to play around with a toy. Or maybe it would just not, it would, a regular toy plane wasn't heavy duty enough to handle steel cable. Or whatever. So they have to shoot the arrow over to the tower. It's only like 140 feet from corner to corner of the towers. And keep in mind too, these towers are not 100% complete. They're like, the main top is almost done. Just the observation deck has to be finished off. So it's about, give or take, 109 stories tall. Without looking into that you see on the end of it. So, on top of it. So, he missed the arrow catch. So, he feels that in his brilliant mind, he's got to feel out the wire to see if he can fill it out. And to get the maximum amount of fuelage power, our buddy Philippe takes all of his clothes off. I have no idea why I had to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt's butt, but I had to do it. For you guys, I had to do it. So you guys can leave your ideas in the comments below. But still, it was very weird. So he put his clothes back on and found the arrow again. And he started to string them to wire. And the morning after, one of the guys quits because it's too tough for them. One of the fasteners to the cable makes sure to stay put. Get connected upside down. And it's right before the actual stunt occurs, you see the woman and two guys below on the street level, the gun and I realized that and saying, look, oh my god, he's falling. The only thing that fell to fall was his jacket. the top portion of its costume. Meanwhile, he was saying, "Oh my God, it's not. We're not gonna do this. My costume fell. It was a black turtleneck sweater. The guy was wearing black automatically. So what's the problem? You gotta make a big stick over a damn sweater or a turtleneck." So he does. Anyway, now the thing is that we New Yorkers are stupid people. We're very complacent. I say we because I'm a New Yorker too. Weren't raised Italian American in Brooklyn, but still we're very oblivious to certain things, like Peace of Vatican, that kind of thing. You know, I don't think people would notice anybody up like 700 something up, foot high up in the air, balancing it out and stuff. But what we would notice is we would notice 3 people with binoculars shouting out, look, he's starting up there, look up there. You know, even if they didn't see anything, I would look up. If I pass by him, I'll look up and say, "Oh shit, there's something up there. He's doing something really dumb." So, that's what I would do. But no, everybody just oblivious to what they do or going to wherever they have to go. Or meeting someone, going to the park or wherever. Now, before I move on with the rest of this movie discussion, let me just say that I do believe that Joseph Gordon-Levitt can do tightrope walking after he's trained by the real Philippe Petit. He can probably do it like maybe 10 feet off the ground and, amateur stuff. I don't believe that he did it. I know for a fact that he didn't do it at the height of the Twin Towers. But the visual, the CGI and that kind of thing in the movie that portrayed the abyss and then the Twin Towers and looking down on the Twin Towers, that was excellently done. It was stunning. It was beautiful. It was amazing. Even when the guy looked up from where he was in the middle wire, that was really, really sweet and spectacular. Top-notch CGI. Very good job from Robert Zemeckis. So, you go over from the South Tower to the North Tower, and at this point, the cops are getting involved because somebody went to knock on the guy, and at the North Tower, the cops are over there. Yeah. And with that, they go up to the South Tower first at the starting point. So at this point, he already reached the North Tower by walking across there. So then he just turns around and he gets the urge to go back to the South Tower. So he starts to go back to the South Tower. Meanwhile, he got a little bit of a crowd below. And they're sending him for him to go on and go on and go on. It's like a message of freedom or I can do this, I can surmount this challenge. So then on his return trip to the South Tower, the cops get involved and they arrest the guy that's on the tower taking pictures of it, Philippe. And they're like, come on, boy, come on to safety. Meanwhile, Philippe knows what's gonna happen to him. He knows that they're gonna arrest him and he won't be doing any more tightrope walking for a while now. So, what does he do? She trains him on. He gets close to the end of the journey. Then Mr. Petit turns around, puts the bar behind his head, the balance bar, and then turns right around and does the whole lap again. Go back and forth. And then the cops go up to the other North Tower this time. And I was like, you son of a bitch, get back here, you. Because he knows full well that the cops will not be able to get up on the wire to go get him the old-fashioned way. They're gonna have to wait until he gets his butt over there, until he gets tired to go back there. So he goes back and forth a few times. And they're like, hey, go for it. You're the man. It's just so funny. I mean, the cops can't go get him. How can they go get him? Even the helicopter that goes there eventually says, get off the wire now. Hurry up and get off the wire. So I'm like, how? It's not like he can jump off the wire right now and land on the top of the tower or anything like that. At one point he kneels on the wire, which is pretty impressive even for something like this. That's pretty safe. It's relatively close to the ground, like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 feet off the ground. But it's still a pretty impressive feat to that. He bows the wire. He bows the towers. And he bows to the people that are cheering him on and stuff. And then in one case, he actually shines on the cops even more by just relaxing and just sitting back on the wire and taking it almost like a nap. But that would have been very dangerous. So he gets back up without actually kneeling on the ground for it, which is impressive. Now, if I were the cops there and I knew that the guy was doing the activate ass going back and forth like that, I'll go. I would cheat the wire. I know I'm a stinker. So anyway, the guy says, one of them said, the bad storm front coming in. You gotta move the butt, the French ass over to one of the sides to get over there, or they're gonna cut the wire. Now, I know that the publicity stuff, but they cut that wire. Philippe will be dead. Miss French will fall down to the ground and go flat. So that'd be like I don't know, murder by cop. So I don't think that'd be a very wide idea. So anyway, Mr. French goes to the end of the wire near the top tower again. So he's shaking the wire, pretending as if he's having a hard time and stuff. And believe it or not, that foot injury only comes into play one time during that thing. But you see the wires, the string, keep his weight on there. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's still why I can hold a 150-pound man. I'm gonna say that's his weight. So if they can survive him doing it once or twice, they can survive him doing 5 or 6 laps. But whatever. He does like he kicked the wires, tested everybody out. I said, he did, no. I'm done, but I'm not really done yet. I still got 3 more steps. But then the cops, he said, I thank you for being patient with me. I thank you for being so good to me and stuff and letting me do this. Not tasing me. So, he said, let me do my last 3 steps and then I'll go with you guys. So, to the credit, the cops let him do it last 3 steps. That's to be a big, public, outcry. So he gets on the step and he tossed the bar. Look kind of like a trick type thing. And then he gets on the last step. Takes 3 steps, gets on the corner of the building, and then all the cops attack him to the ground. As per cop tradition. So, anyway, they leave them in handcuffs, of course, but they they do have enough respect for him to cheer him on, and because the guy has so many balls to do that in the first place. Even though he got a little bit scary at the end with that bird vision of death or something or other. A sequel. Anyway, the cops like, man, you must have lots of balls. You have my respect. Even the construction guys were like, man, you got big cojones. Everybody down like cheer him on all that. So, yeah. Mr. French. So yeah, he got put in the regular book for that. And the judge was very lean on it, saying that he's gotta do a tightrope again, but only for right now for children's parties at the park. Under 10 feet tightrope walks, which is pretty good. And then you got we was given an unlimited pass to go to the observation deck on World Trade Center on the South Tower. I don't know if that will continue on now when Tower left. When we built Tower. And no, I'm not making a joke about that. I'm just saying I wonder if it really does pass on to his current building construction as they were not torn down for a very heinous act of pure evil. But I wonder if they really did like that. And he was even able to autograph the observation deck, which I have no idea how that worked out because he's still committed trespassing, espionage, and all that other stuff too. So I guess he must be like a folk hero, especially the type of workers everywhere in the world. So, yeah, we're so happy that even Papa Rudy was happy for it. Even he gave his dog the double portion of food that day. I like this movie. I like this movie a lot. It was a movie about something that did with the towers that was a more happy occasion than current events. It was a lot better than the bombing of the basement level in the Twin Towers of that 93 bombing with the Ryder truck, with the rental truck. And it was a more uplifting and inspiring thing that said that pretty much if you build it, they will come. Meaning there will be daredevils that will be trying to make their mark on certain things. I don't know if this began like a trend of certain daredevils doing stuff with towers and mines and all that, but it's going to be the first. Just like I tried to be the first person to in Hunter Mountain they were doing like not bungee, like a zip line. Yeah, but they didn't want me to do it because I was too physically unable to do it. They were being dick about it. So you didn't want to do it, you didn't want to take a chance. When you have veterans that would be able to do it, but I was unable to do it. That was kind of fucked up, but I was just to go. Anyway, I enjoyed this movie. I don't know if that would be allowed today if someone be made a hero for doing something like that. But without the proper permits and the red tape and stuff involved. You break the law and then you get like a king with it, like a celebrity. So I don't know if that worked out like that in the way yet again. But even the guy that on the observation deck was like, yeah, you get just like a celebrity. But one thing that I did like was that at the end, when they were really gonna cut wire to the stunt, he was like, no, don't do that, because the people there on the other side, they were that the wire was under such tension that if they just cut it, the wire would snap like a rubber band and probably hurt or kill somebody over on the other side, or possibly make them go over the edge, and that would be bad. So even though he was arrested and stuff, he still had enough nobility in him to warn them about that. To keep the higher up, the police sergeant or something said, he's right. With the secret lever to release the tension on the wire. So he clearly told them about it, and they listened to his reasoning for it, and they did some of the situation before someone else got injured or something or worse. So I like that. Again, Mr. Friend, say goodbye to Annie and the others, and everything is all good and stuff. he did his punishment, his penance, and everything was good. I don't know if The Wire was actually put into it. I mean, the amount of kind it should be, for all people to look at and stuff. So, yeah, that was pretty nice. It was a very charming little movie. Great visual design, great visual effects. The bird thing was kind of curious because the way the bird was coming at him in his vision, it was kind of like the movie The Birth or Birdemic, where in the core, like where it just dive bombed him on the wire, which would have been really bad. And besides, when the chopper was going near the wire, there was no actual effect on the wire, just his hair. You would think that shit would be going all over the place and all that. But anyway, this is a fun movie. I don't know how realistic it was, but pretty close to it. And it was based on Mr. French's book. And yeah, I don't know what it is offhand. Let me see if I can see it now. To reach the clouds. Which, by the way, there was a very nice scene in the beginning where he did like just when he was just starting out to walk, there was a nice little abyss where he just, everything else disappeared, but all you see is the heavenly clouds. And it was nice. Forget about everything else, just clear your mind and just do it. Just destiny calls. And he answered. So it was a big brilliant thing for me to do. I tip my hat to you, Mr. Philippe Petit. And I thank you for watching this review of The Walk. I did this for September 11th in 2025. I want you to let me know if you remember this, or the bombing in 93, and where were you on the September 11th in 2001, the big attacks, the horrible, horrific attacks that everyone knows and everyone chimes in to stop that day. I remember that I was in my art class for that horrible day. And yeah, this movie was about a happy ending to that. A happy thing that happened in the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. So, as usual, I give this movie my happy face seal of approval because it was awesome. Mr. Philippe Petit did a great job with this thing. And then when I see Mom, I give some advice and training to Judith Gordon-Levitt for it. I don't know the entertainment in the movie, but it was so nice. it was so much fun to participate in the actual thing itself. And each like we see here, and you want to see more of my videos, you can always like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for future information on my other videos by using my cell phone number to call me or text me at 631-707-3707. You can follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer at P Nelson Pro. My email is jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. So I salute all you street performers out there, all you tightrope walkers, all you mimes out there. You might get a lot of shit, but I love your performances. And I respect you guys and girls. And I salute Mr. Philippe Petit for doing his godly duty. And thank God nothing bad happened to him. Anyway, peace out, my brothers and sisters. And I want to give a special thanks to all the actors that did this flawlessly. So, yeah. I'll see. I'm sorry to all you girls and guys into land. I'll see you in the next movie video. Ciao, ciao. Sayonara. Arrivederci.